Well, hello, it's Nana Ray, and welcome to my little segment. I don't know what time of the day it is where you are, but I hope it's going to be made more special by my little interlude, a little cup of tea with you this morning, this afternoon, this evening, or this night. Now, you might see that I'm a little bit all over the show. This little feature is called Space Invader, and I think given the way things are at the moment, we're all a little bit like Space Invaders. And so I thought that we'd have a play with it. Certainly, I'm noticing that these little mirror balls are having a life of their own, and I just hope that you'll have a little bit of fun with this as well. Oh my goodness, I haven't got one of my rings on, and I love these rings because they were given to me by very special people, and I just adore them. Anyway, where was I? Oh, yes. So today I wanted to talk about this curve thing, flattening the curve. Flattening the curve. And what do we mean by flattening the curve? It sounds like a little rap song, I think. But really it means that by social isolating, by avoiding having a lot of people getting sick very quickly because we don't social isolate, because we all breathe into each other's what have yous, and we saw what happened in China and even in Italy, and so we've seen them respond rather quickly. Oh my God, look what happens here. And then and we've taken on, though I'm not sure how seriously at this stage we've taken on the socialisation. When I'm recording this, we haven't been required to social isolate, and recently there was quite a lot of people on the beach at that lovely summer's day recently, and so then they closed Bondi Beach, which is really a terrible thing that our iconic beach has been closed, and who knows how long for. But anyway, not to be too concerned. It's telling us that these are these interesting sort of space invader sort of times that we're living in, and certainly the benefit could be, and certainly is reflecting in the statistics, is that not a lot of people are getting infected in this country, and certainly not a lot of deaths, and that's how we want to keep it. It's hard to know where things are going, but we do. I was reading somewhere. Well, actually, I wasn't reading because I'm not very much of a reader, but I saw somewhere that the issue is exponential. And the problem with exponential growth is that 1 minute there's not much happening, and the next minute it's all happening. Because, I don't know, there's something about the day before it all goes crazy. It doesn't look crazy because exponential growth means that on the last day everything doubles. And when it's only a few people and it's only 2 or 4, we can cope with it. But when it's 1,000 and the next day it's 2,000, that becomes radical. And by then, there's nothing we can do. So we have to do something now. And that's social isolating. And we have to know that we're doing something to flatten the curve. And if each of us do our bit, then it's got to be a good thing. So I'm just encouraging us to do that, and the cost of that is social isolation. And you know, we're talking about washing our hands often and regularly, and not just the normal thing, but it was new to me, this business of in here and in here. It's all a bit weird. I'm sure this looks a bit weird, and this funny little effect thing in there and there, and then washing, and what is it we say? Happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, happy birthday dear Nana Ray, happy birthday to you, and then we do that again, and by the time we've sung it twice, we know that we've washed our hands thoroughly if we've been thinking with half a brain, which hopefully, my dear friends, that's what you do. So we wash, we socially isolate, and we stay, if we are with people, we stay 1.5 meters apart, which is extremely hard to do. But if we're basically doing it, we're doing very, very well, and we're just avoiding spreading the virus, because who knows who spoke to who. We really don't know. It's an incredible Russian roulette kind of a fiasco that we're dealing with. And it's all very well for the common good to do socially isolate, but at the same time, there are costs, and there are psychological costs, there are practical costs. Of course, we have all this fabulous panic buying. I mean, I kind of remind myself of 2 things. One is there's plenty of food. plenty of food. It's like, and hurrah, there's plenty of food. And so all the panic buying, what have you, hopefully people now have a little bit of a stock up in case they have to socially isolate. And hopefully pasta will return to the shelves. Hopefully toilet paper will return to the shelves. And hopefully we'll just settle into a less of a panic than has been happening, currently. And then we hope to get used to being more on our own. And it's interesting because, of course, for people, if you're in a relationship and you're used to going out and coming in and going out and coming in, being together can be a little bit much more challenging. You discover things you didn't discover before. I always say that a couple, if they want to get married, should go on a caravan, one of those camper van things, because I from my own experience, being in a camper van with somebody else for a period of time brings out the best and the worst in your ways of relating, and it can be useful. But anyway, this is sort of what's emerging with social isolating. And I encourage you to just be as kind as you can and as spacious as you can, and realize that everybody's a little bit frightened. Everybody's responding a little bit more intensely. And if somebody you're with is being a bit weird, then maybe go for a little walk, give them some space. Possibly recommend that they talk to a counsellor, because, my friend Kim Gottlieb is a counsellor and he's available. And, there are many people who are making support available, and we have to be looking out for ourselves, as the Jewish saying, "V'ahavta l'reacha kamocha," love your neighbor as yourself. And hopefully Nana Ray is doing her bit, and hopefully each of you is doing your bit to help all of us to get through this. We will get through this, and it's just a challenging time, but sometimes it brings out the best. After all, look, it brought Nana Ray out of the woodwork, as you might say, and it's an absolute pleasure, and I am very happy to be with you. I think I've gone a little bit over time today, so I hope that's okay with you, but please feel free to write to me, give me your comments, and just let me know how things are going for you. I'd love to answer your questions, and it's just lovely knowing that you're in my world. Bye now.